Hi everyone. In this time, I would like to talk about loss and grieving in this disaster. My talk will involve the following topics, including definition, stages of grief, anticipatory grieving, complicated grieving, languages of grief, and spirituality role in grieving. Grief and loss will be experienced by all people in their lifetime. Loss is defined as the absence of something that was valued. Loss can be divided into actual and perceived loss. Actual loss is indicated if the loss can be recognized and verified by others, while perceived loss cannot. Example of actual loss in disaster victims are losing parts of bodies, house, family members, significant others, job, etc. In addition, perceived loss can be loss of happiness, motivation, financial independence, a valued environment, and so on. Grief is the emotional feeling related to the loss. The feeling of loss or grief could be associated but not limited with the death of a loved one. A significant change such as the loss of job, function, limb, pet, may be also a reason of people grief. Kubler-Ross identified 5 stages of grieving process, including denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance. These phases are instruments to facilitate people to recognize our feeling through the process that maybe not stop on several linear timeline in grieving. Not every person experience throughout all of the processes or move in a proposed order. The first stage of grief is denial. In this stage, people often question the reality. Is it true? Did it really happen? In this stage, an individual who experiences loss is in state of shock and denial. Denial is often misinterpreted over the years. It doesn't mean individuals exactly do not understand their loss. Denial may look like disbelief. However, it is still not disbelief of the actual death. Even saying, I can't believe that he's dead, it means that the person will not see his or her beloved one presence in his or her daily life. Denial facilitates an individual to unconsciously cope with his or her feeling. He or she frequently expressing their story of losing to deal with the trauma. It is a strategy to refuse the pain while attempting to accept the fact of the loss. After asking about the reality, individuals begin to review the situation by asking the how and why and searching for understanding. Finally, the person comprehends that the loss and become stronger. The second stage is anger. In this stage, the person may be angry with her or herself, others, or God by criticizing the etiology of the situation. People may be angry with God by asking, where is God in this situation? Where is his power? Why did he assign to me? They, they often doubt about God and his role. To deal with this, they need to reconcile their spirituality and religion with this loss and anger. The anger occurs due to unexpected, unwarranted, and undesirable situation. He or she understands logically that the important thing or person should not lose or die. It was not expected to occur, or at least not now. People frequently prefer to avoid or suppress the emotion until ready to deal with them, even, even though it is a part of emotional management. It is a helpful feeling until passing the first wave and ready to go deeper. Anger is a required phase of the healing process. To be able to feel the anger, since there are several feelings beyond the anger. Anger means that people growing by allowing all emotion emerge to the surface. Anger confirms that people can feel, did love, and have lost. The anger will diminish, and feeling of bereavement will transform again. The third stage of grief is bargaining. In this stage, people expect to do anything for avoiding loss by bargaining with situations or God. They may say, "Please God, I will not be angry at my daughter again if you let him live." They also bargain for situations that can prevent the loss by talking to themselves. What if I accompanied her in that car so the accident could not happen? There are many if only or what if statements to go back in time. Guilt frequently accompanies bargaining. The, only, the if only affects us to search mistakes that cause the loss and think that we could have performed differently. Bargaining facilitates moving from one situation of loss to another by filling the gap dominance emotion that maintain the sorrow. While accepting the bereavement, such as that, people begin to bargain that the beloved one will be painless and they will be meet again in paradise. Unfortunately, the awareness appears to the similar conclusion that the terrible fact is the important person or matter is really gone. The fourth stage of grieving is depression. In this phase, awareness jumps into here and now by feeling emptiness and grief comes deeper. An individual is not motivated in continuing life. Depression is not an indication of a mental illness, but it is suitable response to remarkable bereavement. However, clinical depression may occur, characterizing by a long or extreme discourage. Treating depression is a harmonizing action by accepting grief as a suitable normal phase of bereavement without allowing unaccomplished depression impact individuals' quality of life. Depression has components that can be useful in grief by slowing and allowing people to take actual stock of bereavement. Finally, rebuild them from the bottom up. The fifth stage of grief is acceptance. This stage is frequently misperceived as belong okay with the loss. Mostly, people do not want to be all right about it. Acceptance is about accepting the fact that the important person or matter is physically away, and acknowledging the new life is the everlasting reality that perhaps people do not like it, but finally accept it, and learn to live with new norm. Now let's talk about anticipatory grieving. Not all individuals experience this kind of grieving, and if they do, it is not in the similar way. Anticipation is needed to strengthen our mental health for a predictive loss. For an example, a lot of people do not prepare their mental to be failed in a struggle. Therefore, many individuals fall in a distressed situation without anticipated previously. However, the anticipation could be as strong as the event itself. Uncertainty can be a painful event, whereas a people will experience a situation without acknowledging if there will be a bereavement. For instance, in disaster events such as tsunami, people may not find their family members who are floated off. They do not know where and what happened to the victims. In dealing with this uncertainty, they can anticipate the bereavement by passing the 5 stages before finding or losing their family corpse. Sometimes anticipatory grieving is an introduction to a distressing process, a double pain that finally produces healing. Why it is called as a double pain? Because people experience grieving before the loss and will face the loss then. But it can result in healing process faster when an individual faces the loss. Unsolved complicated grief can result in grief-related major depressive disorder. However, it should be distinguished from depression using inventory of complicated grief. There are 4 key characteristics of complicated grief, including a perception of disbelief about the loss, anger and resentment over the loss, intermittent pain or sorrowful feelings, and uneasiness with thoughts of the loved person. People express their grief in several modes of expressions and types of language, as we can see in the picture. People combine both modes of expression and type of language to reveal and express the grief. Mode of expressions is response of the bereaved, including verbal response, non-verbal response, physical response, and physical activities. Verbal responses are used for those who express their grief utilizing words, both in written and oral ways, in their languages to be heard and understood by others using familiar words. Nonverbal responses can be formed as silent or reflective. This mode includes belief or reflections maintained to a person that may be silent or reflective, such as reflecting regarding the experience. This thinking may be revealed in another mode in the future. The absence of expressed feeling is a part of languages of grieving as well. Physical responses consist of physical sign and symptom, and sensory features such as seeing and hearing. Body language is a form of physical response as well. Several physical responses are experienced without any intentions, such as crying, sighing, immediate or strong emotion, and other somatic responses. Physical activities is intentional manifestations, including actions or objects that may have both public and private aspects, such as join the burials, praying according to individual religions to respect and pray the dead and the bereaved. Now we talk about type of languages as described in the middle circle in the picture. It involves 5 components, including narrative, symbolism, metaphor, and analysis. Narrative can be described as storytelling as a common communication way for the bereaved to tell and retell the story of the death or loss of the beloved person or the important thing. It is structured by individuals, religion, spiritual, and cultural faiths. Second type is symbolism. This type of language is characterized by material and action expressions representing an individual interpretation of belief. Symbols may be signify the relationship or an entity of significance of the relationship. For instance, a bereaved may scatter a dead as at sea as a physical action with symbolic meaning, or a boy whose mother passed away may look at the sky in the night and say, "Mommy is a new star in the sky," as verbal symbolic. Beside action, a material can be a symbol of grieving. Flowers can be a symbol of grief, love, and respect for the dead. The third type of language is metaphor, as a symbolic communication representing an event in terms of another. It is utilized to comprehend and explain an individual experience. For example, a father of 4-year-old girl who died due to cancer described his daughter as a sparkling crystal when writing in his blog. And the last type of language is analysis, which is considered as interpretation about the loss and identification of which idea may be beneficial for several objectives. For instance, a bereaved may obtain lessons from his loss to encourage himself in dealing with a new life. Analyzing and construct tangible ideas are useful to deal with the loss in which the bereaved is distressed. The process may be converted into verbal realm, witness, physical action, or a physical response. These expressions are influenced by contingent factors involving internal factors such as personal history and feelings, interpersonal factors such as social support and expectation, and external factors such as cultural and public expectation. For the person, these influences will be similar, even though they may be various depending on time and stage of life. The bereaved may have spiritual needs such as centered on a loss of of roles and self-identify and an anxiety of dying. Spirituality play important roles in the grieving process. Several studies prove that spiritual and religious belief provide positive effects on grieving. In addition, religion and spirituality positively effect on coping with bereavement. Spirituality is differentiated from religion. As spirituality has positive effect on coping with grief, religion also have role in grieving, including belief that beloved individuals are at peace. Then, traditional feature of religious as a source of power that includes prayer, belief in God, attendance at peace, attendance at place of worshiping, ceremonials, and belief in a hereafter. We provide a great assistance for the bereaved. Thank you everyone for watching this video. I hope it is helpful for you in understanding the phenomena of grieving. Bye.